Good morning. My name is Jalal. Today we're going to be talking about the Q skills for success for listening level 4. Now we're going to be starting unit 2 today. Now if you turn over to page number 22, now on this page we talked about unit 1 in the previous video. In this video we're going to be talking about unit 2, which it says, how does appearance affect our success? Now it's a pretty simple question. You have to break it up, okay? So appearance. Now, when we talk about appearances, we talk about what the other person looks like, okay? Or what somebody looks like, okay? Affect is another way of saying, like, how does it change you, okay? How does the way you look change our success, okay? So how does appearance affect our success, okay? So when you get success, how does your appearance change? That's all the question's asking, okay? Now, this question I think it's very, very simple and very easy, okay? Now, think about some successful people. How would you describe each person's appearance? Now, if you said to me, Jalal, there's a successful person I know, I would assume, or I would think myself, that this person's rich, they wear the best suits. If they're from Saudi Arabia, they wear the best thorps. You'd probably think they wear the best watch. You would think their house is amazing, probably a big mansion, possibly. You could also think that they have the best car as well, maybe a Mercedes, maybe any German vehicle, something expensive. It could also be that the color might be very bright. A lot of successful people, what they like to do is drive cars usually in white. The reason I know this because in England, that's the most common color, in my opinion. When someone wants to show people how successful they are, maybe buy a Range Rover, etc. So that's the way I describe it. Okay. Now, usually successful people's appearances, not only do their clothes look good, their jewelry, maybe their car, their house. Also, the person looks good as well. So maybe they've got a good haircut, maybe their beard is very well trimmed. It could be possibly anything, even the best shoes, okay? So that, when you think of successful people, usually that's how you describe usually most people. A lot of successful people do tend to have a lot of money, okay? Now, on question number 2, when you are at work or school, is the space around you usually neat or messy? And what does a messy desk tell you about owner's personality? So we'll answer the first one, okay? We'll talk about you usually neat or messy. So when you when you are at work or at school, is the space around you neat or messy? Now, each person is different, okay? Now, if you come into my office is very neat. It's clean. Every morning I get a cloth, I wipe down the table for any dust, I put my things down, my bag, open my laptop, everything is neat. And when I finish, I put everything back to where it is, okay? So I'm a very neat person, I would say. My apartment is clean, even my house in England is clean. My car, the one I have in England, that stays clean at all times. So yeah, I'd like to think I'm a very clean, neat person, okay? People that are messy are usually the people that don't care about their workspace. They don't care about what's happening in school. They don't really care about what's happening. Now, what does a messy desk tell you about the owner's personality? If I saw a messy desk, okay, and if you saw a messy desk, I think you would think the same thing. You would be thinking, wow, this person has no focus. You'll think about they don't have any focus. They don't care about staying clean. They don't care about what other people think. So yeah, and it's disorganized. It's not very organized. Okay, when you come to work, when you go to school, you want everything to know. You need to know where everything is. So that's what staying organized is. If you're messy and you don't know where anything is, it just looks very unprofessional. Okay, and it doesn't look good. So how does appearance affect our success? The appearance is in a good way. Now, successful people are always organized. They always look good. They make sure that, if anything, perfect. Okay. Now look at this photo. What does this workspace tell you about the person that works here? Would you work in a space like this? So obviously you've got this picture here. Okay. You've got the office in the back. You've got a little caravan. You've got a little barbecue here with the coals. I'm pretty certain that's a step. Maybe his toilet. You've got, I don't know what that is, maybe a table and a little chair, okay? Now, would you work in a place like this? Probably not. That's too relaxed. In my opinion, that's like if you're going camping, okay? Or if you live not in a house, but you live in this, okay? So it's very unprofessional. I would rather work here, to be honest, because when you come to work, you want to have a nice seat, you want to have a nice desk, you want to have a nice computer, just so you can focus on work, okay? So the unit 2 is quite simple. How does appearance affect our success? It usually affects our success in a good way, okay? So you look cleaner, you look better, you look neater, and that is it. It's as simple as that, okay? Now, I want you to pause the video now and just understand this a little bit further. Write notes here if you want to, okay? Next question number 1 and 2. Because in the speaking test, these are the questions that they'll ask you, something similar to this, okay? And if you have notes, then you're ready for anything, okay? Once you are finished pausing the video, I want you to go on to the next page. The next page is on page 24. Now, on page 24, question A, if you can see that right there, it says, look at the statement below, check tick for the statement you agree with. Now, you know what, I'll help you with this one, okay? Now, messy people are never very organized. It says here, tick the ones that you agree with. I would say the first one I agree with, okay? Messy people are not very organized. Children should not focus too much on neatness. I think children should be neat, definitely. So I'll leave that one, okay? Neatness is required in order to work effectively. I would say yes, okay? If you're neat, if you're organized, you know what to do. So number 1 and number 3 so far. And it says here, it's okay to be a little messy at home. Now, this is dependable. It depends on every person, okay? So it depends on you. For me, I like to be a little messy, a little, okay? Because I can't be cleaning, I can't be perfect all the time. So I would say number 4, I would tick, okay? But I usually keep everything clean, all right? Now, question B on page 24, okay? Page 24, question B. These are the words. You've got all these words here. You got bias, moderately, chaos, open-minded, embrace, point out. You've got inflexible, recognize, and so on, okay? So what I want you to do is, before you pause the video, I want you to make sure you get a dictionary. If you don't have a dictionary, it's okay. Use Google. Use Google, okay? And just find out the meanings for all these words, okay? Write the word in Arabic if you have to make sure you understand a little bit more, and write the meanings next to it, okay? Once you finish up, unpause the video, okay? And then you're going to go on to page number 24 on question A. Very simple. Listen to the audio, listen to the review, and take notes, okay? So the audio is about at work and at home. Write down the main ideas and key phrases, just like Unit 1, and main ideas and key phrases, just like in Unit 1, okay? So just write down all the ideas about work and at home, okay? Now, I'll let you pause the video there, and you can play it as soon as you finish, okay? Now, on question B, you got down here, imagine you're a police officer in Pennsylvania who was fired because of his messy desk. Use your notes to explain why you should get the job back. Now, your notes from page 24, you're going to use these notes here, and you're going to answer the question on B, 1 and 2. Now, if you're a police chief or a police officer, how do you get your job back? You're going to write down number 1 and number 2, any sentences you like, okay? What you think. Once you have finished that, you can pause the video before you start that, okay? Now, once you finish that, you can go on to the next one. Question C, true or false? True meaning right, false meaning wrong. Then correct the false statements. Now, these are the sentences 1, 2, and 3, 4. All you have to do is write in true or false, okay? According to what you think. Once you finish that, I want you to pause the video there. Now, once you finish it, I want you to unpause the video again. Now, on question number D, this one is, this is quite good. So, again, you're going to be listening to the audio on this one, okay? You're going to listen to the audio, and they're going to tell you questions A, B, and C, just like in the quiz, in the midterm, in the final test, exactly the same, okay? So, question number 1, 2, 3. You've got question number 5 and 6 on page 26, okay? So 5 and 6. So again, pause the video now, listen to the audio, get the answers, okay? So once you finish that, all good, okay? Then you can move on to question E. Question E is a little bit different. Now, you read the sentences about two examples of messy success stories. Who is each sentence about? Is it about Leon Heppel or Agatha Christie? If you think it's Leon, write AC. Write LH. If you think it's Agatha, write AC. Okay. Question E, 1 to number 6. That's all you're going to be doing. Okay. So again, pause the video, read the sentences, tell me what you think. Okay. And then once you finish that, go on to question F. Now, question F, we talked about vocabulary before, okay? On page number, let's have a look, page number 24, we talked about vocabulary itself, okay? Now, what I want you to do is, if you haven't done the vocabulary already on page 24, use the dictionary for this activity, okay? Because there's quite a few questions. On page 26 and 27, you've got question number 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 10. And if you turn over to page 28, you have got another two questions here, 11 and 12. Okay, so it's a very big question, but they're very easy, I believe. Okay, so what you want to do is the words underlined, not underlined, in bold: embrace, stifle, bias, point out, moderately, stumble upon, recognize, stimulating, turn out. You got open-minded, inflexible, and chaos. All you're going to do is, for each of these words, you're going to, for each of these words, you're going to circle the correct answer, okay? So chaos, a big mess, orderly and neat, and you got well organized. So the answer for number 12 is quite simple. Chaos is a big mess, basically. Everything is chaos, all right? So again, pause the video, use a dictionary, use Google if you want to find the meanings out, and then match them up to the correct meaning, okay? So that's very, very simple. Once you have finished that as well, boys, unpause the video, okay, and carry on. Now, there is, if you have a look here, you've got a yellow box. In my previous videos, and I tell all my students, if you see a yellow box in your book, that means it's something important. So you need to understand it before you carry on, okay? So, on this one, it's talking about the listening skill, identifying details. When you listen to a long presentation or lecture, it is difficult to take notes on everything. That is true. When you listen to someone talk, maybe a presentation, maybe a lecture, you can't really take in all the information. You can't remember all of it, okay? So what you do is you remember the main ideas, okay? You focus on details that supports the main ideas. For example, ask yourself the 3 questions as you listen. Is this new information? Does this information support the main idea? And is this information repeated or rephrased? Usually, if someone wants to talk about something important, they'll repeat it again and again, and maybe again one more time, okay? So that's it, identifying. Identify means finding, okay, and details, all right? So once you finish that and understand that, go to page number 29. On page 29, question A. This one is quite simple. You got strategy 1, 2, and 3. Listen to the audio. It'll tell you what strategy 1 is. It'll tell you what strategy 2 is, and it'll tell you what strategy 3 is. And the 3 strategies for being more organized. And then talk about each detail, okay? So strategy 1, talk about detail strategy 2, and talk about the detail in strategy 3. Pause the video here. Once you finish that, that's really good, okay? Now, I want you to go onto the yellow box here, okay? Again, something very important. It says a note-taking skill, taking notes using a T chart, all right? So a T chart is a useful way to take notes about 2 contrasting topics. When you are reading a text or listening to something about 2 sides of an issue or 2 different ideas, make a T chart by drawing a T. Now, the T chart is basically like drawing the actual T letter, okay? Usually a letter T would be like this or like this. So this is no different, okay? So this is the T chart. At the top, you write the title or the topic, and then here you're going to write down the details, okay? So, argument for being messy, that means argument for being okay for being messy. And then you got arguments against being messy. So your argument for you not liking being messy. Okay, so explain the details. That's it. Once you understand that, guys, I want you to pause it, take your time to understand it again. Go on to page number 30. Now, page 30 is quite a bit of reading here. Okay. Now you can listen to the audio, or you can just read it yourself. And it says here, happy facial expressions. Facial expressions are usually someone's face and being happy. So he's smiling, his eyes are open. Serious facial expressions, usually he would not be smiling, he'd be very sad, he'd look angry. Okay, so in the paragraph here and the audio, if you listen to it, it'll tell you the happy facial expressions, and it'll tell you the serious facial expression. Okay, now pause the video. Again, take time to understand it. Okay, now once you finish that, we're going to be on page number 31. Okay, on page 31, listening to the changing business dress code. Okay, dress code is what you wear. Okay, there can be a dress code for a funeral, it can be a dress code for work, maybe school, etc. Now, if you want, answer question A, okay? 1 and 2. You can write down a little sentence for yourself and try explaining what you think of this, okay? Then, what I want you to do is go on to question number, let's have a look. Go on to question number B. B's, again, you're going to use Google. You can use the dictionary if you have one, and just find out the meanings of these words, okay? Find out the meanings, write the meanings next to it, okay? Pause the video again, play it as soon as you have understood the meanings and everything, okay? Then you can listen to the audio on question A, page 31. Listen to the audio and write down notes, okay? Positive effects and negative effects, okay? Of wearing casual business clothing, and then you got negative effects as well, okay? Listen to the audio, talk about everything that's good here, and talk about everything that's bad here, okay? On page 32, once you finish that, on page 32, you're going to be, this one, what we're going to do is, you're going to use answer using A, okay? So on page 31, we talked about the casual business clothing. So what I want you to do for this one, you're going to use the notes to help you answer these questions, okay? And that's pretty simple. Sorry. Right, once you've completed that, go on to question number C. This one's quite easy. Again, listen to the audio, circle A, B, or C. Listen to the first sentence and find out the answer for A, B, and C, okay? It's a very good practice for the listening, especially in the test or the quizzes, okay? Now, once you listen to the audio, you finish that exercise, go on to question D. Question D, it says, read the exam from radio talk show. These are the words. These words you're going to put inside on page 33. Again, fill in the gaps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? Use these 8 words on page 33 and fill in the gaps. Okay? That's it. Once you finish that, go on to question F. Again, pause the video, take your time to understand it. This presentation is very short, okay? So I'm explaining things very quickly, but at the same time, in detail so you understand it, okay? But your job is to make sure you finished all the exercises yourself. Now, question F. You got all these words that you understand the meaning from, okay? These words are all from page 31, okay? You should know the meanings by now. Put them into question number 1, 2, 3, on page 33, on page 34, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, okay? Very simple. Use them words, understand the meanings, and put them in the correct way, okay? And that's it, really. So that's that done. If you look on, next thing we're going to talk about is on page 35, okay? So again, pause the video, take your time to understand it, and put in the answers, okay? On page 35, what you're going to be doing is quite simple. Again, a yellow box. Using the dictionary. When we talk about using the dictionary, it's very simple. It's not very difficult, and it's very easy. If you have a dictionary, you find out the meaning for the word. So it's in alphabetical order, A to Z, okay? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, so on. You're going to find out the meaning for the words, and usually the word is in bold, and the meanings are usually in here, okay? And that's it. It's not very difficult. It's not rocket science. On question A, on the page 36, what you're going to do is you're going to read each sentence, then circle the correct definition of the bold word. The bold word here is ditch, as you can see, and cold. You're going to circle the correct words that you think the answer is according to your dictionary, okay? Once you finish that, you're going to go on to the last bit, and this is very, very simple. Now, again, use a dictionary, okay? Find out the words for the word deep, okay? Deep, fine, sign, dress, and write in the meanings as from the dictionary, okay? Again, if you don't have the dictionary, it's okay. Use Google. So find out the meaning for deep, fine, sign, and dress, okay? And that's it, really, okay? So that is Unit 2. That's Unit 2 that we finished on Level 4. And this topic was about how does appearance affect our success, okay? Take your time, understand it. You can pause the video and then you can take your time to understand it. That's the most important thing, okay? Thank you. Have a good day.